Well, another conservative has been taken off of television. Tim Allen's Last Man Standing sitcom in its 6th season has been canceled by ABC, always broadcasting crap. Of course, many are wondering if Tim biting the Hollywood hand that feeds him had anything to do with this, because just 2 months ago when he was talking with Jimmy Kimmel, he said that being a conservative in Hollywood today is like being a Jew in 1930s Germany. As you know, conservatives are being persecuted around every corner, and when Jimmy Kimmel brought up the fact that Tim Allen had been to President Trump's inauguration, you could see that Tim Allen got extremely uncomfortable.
You went to the presidential inauguration, right?
I was invited by, we did a VIP thing for the vets and went to the Veterans Ball, and so I went to go see Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I went to the inauguration. It was
I'm not attacking you.
You get this down. I'm not kidding. You got to be real careful around here. You know, you get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany. I don't know what happened. If you're not part of the group, you know what we believe is right. I go, well, I might have a problem with that.
Of course, ABC is claiming that it was canceled because of the ratings, and they just couldn't come to an agreement with a licensing fee for the show's producer, but the ratings were actually very good. Deadline.com, which covers the television business, says that ABC opted not to renew the longtime Friday 8 p.m. anchor for season 7, despite the fact that the blue-collar sitcom was ABC's second most watched comedy this season with 8.1 million viewers. It was the third most watched ABC scripted series on the network, period. For those not familiar with the series, Tim Allen played an executive at an outdoor sporting goods store who was an all-American Christian conservative guy who had traditional family values. Of course, his character can't stand liberals or the political correct insanity that they're trying to impose on society. And in one scene from an episode which aired in December, he is seen talking about how stupid microaggressions are. A microaggression, for those of you who haven't kept up with this insanity, is when liberals hallucinate that they're experiencing racism. In this episode, Tim Allen's character was going to give a speech at his daughter's college graduation, but it had to be approved beforehand to make sure that it wasn't offensive.
Do you want me to give you some notes before you send it in?
Why, send it in? What do you mean?
The faculty committee needs to approve it after they check for microaggressions.
Microaggressions? You mean like midget warriors?
No, they're objectionable words or phrases. For instance, midget warriors.
I know what microaggressions are. It's the latest liberal attack at free speech. And a lot of fun if you do them right.
Gee, I can't imagine why they canceled the show. Of course, most major television networks aren't just in the business of making money by having viewers watch their shows. They're in the business of trying to shape our culture. For example, back in the 1980s, when NBC put The Cosby Show on the air, it wasn't that they were trying to appeal to a black audience, because the majority of television watchers, as the majority of the population in the United States, are white. They were trying to change the culture by showing a successful African-American family. Bill Cosby played a doctor, his wife played a lawyer. The Cosby Show wasn't necessarily for black people, because most of the viewers were white. The purpose of the show was to try to shape the culture. A better example would be when shows started introducing gay characters in the 1990s. Since gay people only make up about 1 or 1.5% of the population in the United States, it's not a sizable television audience. They were introducing those characters to try to change the culture. They introduced those gay characters because they wanted to normalize homosexuality to the millions of people watching. And so many are wondering if ABC is just simply playing politics by canceling Last Man Standing. To most top television executives, if a show is making money and successful, but is putting out a political message completely contrary to the culture and the priorities of the network itself, that's going to be a big problem. And that very well may be the problem that Tim Allen just ran into head first. I'm Mark Dice, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new and check back here every day for new reports, and we'll continue to expose the mainstream media manipulators and their poisonous liberal propaganda. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.